Well, James, we're in very challenging times right now. The COVID virus has devastated the whole country, and it continues to. And we're certainly in a time of national reckoning about race and
Yeah.
systemic prejudice, and the need for America to change. There's a lot of soul searching going on in the American theater right now.
Yes.
About how it has related to artists of color in the past and how it might change in the future.
You're going to hear this a lot from different artists of color. You know, you hear it from women all the time. You hear it from women all the time, and you definitely hear it from artists of color. Well, we have been taught to always be nice. We've been taught to not rock the boat. We've been taught not to show your angry side, because you know they're going to say, oh, angry black man, and you're just saying, I'm just voicing my opinion. Or, you know, if a woman does it, she's, you know, the B word. She sees herself as strong, and the males of that power structure see her as, doing things. In that moment, you have to make a decision. Is this worth fighting for? Or am I just, I don't want to rock the boat? And it's a weird feeling, because you want to be heard, you want to defend yourself, you want to educate so someone doesn't have to go through it again. But you also, before this massive time of revelation, that would have been seen as someone being difficult or rocking the boat or creating waves or whatever different phrase you want to put on it to make it seem like you are not the ideal person. And it was always a weird moment for me, because I was like, how do I handle this in a way where I can still work, but also not have this stigma put upon my personality? Or, because secretly they're thinking, oh, the black man's angry. So I had to navigate my way through that, like all performers of color in theater. This is it's a systematic thought pattern of things that happen that go through theater after theater after theater, and the show after show after show. And it's just something that's there. And so basically what has to happen is, now it has to be, listen, let's have a conversation. These are things that shouldn't be said. These are things that should be understood. These are things which seem so obvious, but now need to be said. And they need to be said so that people of color cannot just make the white folks at the theater feel comfortable, but everybody feel equal and comfortable and included. And when I say that, I say it for women as well, because my wife and I were having this conversation. We were laughing. We were going back and forth. I was like, I kept telling her, I said, I always feel like I had to be the nice guy. I always felt like I couldn't get angry. I always felt like I had to be cool and relaxed when someone gave me an opinion. I couldn't get too far. I always had to be restrained. And she was like, that's so funny, because as a woman, that's how I feel. And I was like, huh,
There you go.
that seems interesting.
Have you had difficult experiences based on race during your career?
I won't say what show it was, but there was a moment I was doing a show and someone said, okay, this is the moment where I want y'all to go to church. Go to church. And me and another actor looked at each other. We were like, when you say go to church, what church are you talking about?
Yeah.
Are you talking about Methodist, Baptist, Gospel, Lutheran, Book Mormon? Which church are you talking about? Because if you're talking about Black church, that was kind of offensive, because there's so many different kind of churches. And also, you have to understand, that's not just something that we just do. For those who are believers, that is something that is a spiritual thing that happens. It's not just something that's put upon, or we could just turn on a dime. There's those moments. And then there's those subtle moments where even as a Black man, you don't realize it's insensitive. I won't call it racist, but it's insensitive. It's like there's certain shows that just have a gospel number for no reason. And you're like, why is it? Like, if it's in a church, I get it. But if there's just a gospel Black number just to have one, you're like, I like this style of music. We should do a gospel number here. And you as a Black person, when you first see it, you go, wow, this is cool. Wait a minute. Why are we doing this? So it's those little things that even we as Black people, we have been ingrained in it so long that even we don't see it. And then when we do see it, we're like, should we say something? Should we do something? How do we go about telling people this is not exactly right? We don't want to mess up the show. We don't, because it is good, but it is bad. You know what I mean? It's one of those weird moments. So yeah, I've had moments. Then I've had blatant moments. I literally had a moment. I was young in my career, Kelley. And I had always heard the joke of someone saying it. I'd seen it in movies, but I'd never ever thought it would happen to me. I was doing a show, small theater in the Bay Area. Director looks at me and says, "Can you be more Black?"
Oh, no.
I'm not kidding. I am not exaggerating. And I was so stunned. Dave Chappelle has this moment where he says, ever had a moment that was so racist that you just couldn't believe, you just stood there? It was that kind of moment. She was like, "Can you be more Black?" And I was like, and my only response was, I said, "Well, this is about as Black as I can be. So why don't you explain to me exactly what you mean by more Black?" And then all of a sudden she realized what she said. And I was like, first of all, we had a conversation about it later. I was like, the connotation of you saying be more Black, which you mentioned be more ghetto, is still offensive. But I know what you meant, what you wanted him to be a little bit more menacing. You wanted him to be more dangerous, but you chose be more Black, be more ghetto, be more thuggish. That's offensive and racist. And you need to check yourself on what you define as thuggish criminal activity and, you know, things like that. That being more Black has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
You know, as we've seen, I won't get into political moments, but as we've seen, some of our biggest criminals have nowhere near any Blackness to them. They are just walking around in suit and ties running the country. But, you know, but it's one of those moments where things like that are said to the performer, and the performer has to, again, navigate. And if they get too big, it becomes a thing. But now, like I said, people are seeing, eyes are opening, but it takes, there's that phrase, the straw that broke the camel's back, but there's also, you know, I'm big into comic books. There's that moment where, like, there's an asteroid and there's so many things hitting it, and there's that one little pebble that hits the asteroid and it explodes. And everybody finally sees what's going on. Like, oh my God, the fireball's coming towards Earth. Yes, it is. And what are we going to do to stop it? Are we going to stay here and hold on to these grudges? Or are we going to do something? Are we going to just post about it? Or are we going to do something?
Yeah.
Are we going to just yell out loud and go, "I'm angry"? That's great. You can be angry. Are we going to do something? Are you going to grab that person and say, "Hey, let me talk to you for a second," and not be angry? Say, "Look, what you said was wrong." Or what you said, tell me what you're thinking in that moment so I can explain what I'm thinking. And then maybe we can come to a wonderful moment that we both can have clarity about what was just said and what was done, or what we need to do to go forward. Someone's always going to say something in theater. Somebody, you know why? Because theater's so free, Kelley. I mean, we are the one institution where we say things in 2 weeks that it takes most people 2 months to say, because we have to. We have to get a show up and running, so we have to get personal and intimate quickly. So things are said. That's where those weird showmances come in that should never happen. Because folks are just like, we're so close. I know you now. You're like, no, you don't know me. We just met, but we got close. So it's those type of things that theater, entertainment, things are going to be said, and we need to be able to have a dialogue. Say, hey, don't say that. That's not cool. And the people need to be able to receive and go, oh, cool, my bad. I didn't know. Okay. And then we need to let it go and move on. The real live racist people, they feel just as strongly in their views, no matter how wrong they are. They feel just as strongly in their views as we feel in ours. And some people, we're just not going to turn. But we need to start talking to the folks who want to hear, who want to listen. And we as people of color need to be okay with the questions that these people ask. They're saying, what can I say? What is okay? And we go, we don't want to educate you. No, we got to educate you. It's our job, because if we don't educate you, no one will. Let's discuss what you don't understand. Let's discuss what I feel I don't understand. Let's discuss. And once you start discussing, you don't have to agree. And that's the great part. You don't have to agree, but you got to respect. You have a right to an opinion. But what you don't have a right to is to interfere with my life. You don't have a right to tell me what I can do. And you don't have a right to kill me just for being who I am. So what you have a right to do is you have a right to your opinion. And if you feel like speaking it, let the consequences, let the chips fall where they may. But understand, you got to respect me for being a human being. That's what you need to do. So I've had issues, but I always have to look at it logically, because if I look at it, if I get angry, I make a mistake. Those people who get by, plan, they have a strategy. And we're working on a strategy. We're working on a plan. And we're hoping that all of the intelligent, logical, heart-filled, spirit-filled white folks go with us, because it's going to take all of us to fix this. It's going to take all of us to fix this. Veil has been lifted, and that's a good thing. We are going to go through some growing pains right now, and that's a good thing too, because out of growing pains comes healing, comes understanding, comes conversation, and finally, hopefully at the end, a mutual respect and inclusivity of what should be happening.